Right now, scattered across Utah, tens of thousands of ancient warnings are dissolving into dust. Messages from civilizations that discovered something here. Something that made them abandon everything overnight. Their panic is still visible in half-finished petroglyphs, in sealed doorways, in entire cities left to rot. They were trying to tell us what they found, but we arrived too late. The desert is already erasing the evidence. And whatever drove them away is still at work. Arches National Park has 2,000 natural arches that are actively collapsing. Rock formations that survived 10,000 years. Now failing at an alarming rate. The house on fire ruins were abandoned so quickly that pottery and tools still lie exactly where they were dropped 800 years ago. And in Gunlock Canyon, phantom waterfalls explode to life after sudden storms. Raging torrents that disappear completely within hours. As if they never existed. Join me as we uncover the most extraordinary wonders of Utah. Places so unreal, they might just change the way you see this state forever. The Onaqui Mountains Herd Management Area is famous for its wild horse population, which draws visitors and photographers from around the world. It covers over 205,000 acres and is one of the most visited HMA sites due to its accessibility, with around 230 to 400 wild horses roaming free as of recent counts. Wild horses have been present in this area since the late 1800s, primarily descended from local ranch stock. Uniquely, they are one of the most photographed wild herds due to their approachability and proximity to main roads. However, there are no amenities such as food and gas in the area, making roads difficult to get through after rain or snow. The wild horses are descended from ranch stock turned loose in the late 1800s, with genetics occasionally supplemented by outside horses to maintain herd health. Their distinctive approachability is because they are habituated to people, despite being wild, and often graze near roads. Although they would travel miles for water, they still display strong site fidelity and prefer to stay in familiar ranges, even after disturbances. These horses are also smaller than average, with mares averaging about 700 pounds and stallions roughly 900 pounds. Despite their smaller size, they stay healthy even in drought conditions. They tend to live in bands led by a dominant stallion, with bachelor groups common away from main herds. House on Fire is an ancestral Puebloan ruin built into a sandstone alcove with a history of over 700 years. It was once used as a granary or dwelling by the ancestral Puebloans, commonly referred to as the Anasazi. The name comes from the way the rock above the ruin appears to glow in certain lighting conditions, resembling flames rising from the structure. The ruin consists of multiple small rooms, held together with a mud-based mortar, as the placement under the alcove provided natural protection from the elements. Factory Butte is recognised for its flat-topped shape, rising 6,302 feet above a barren badlands landscape. It's a destination for off-road recreation, hiking, primitive camping, and wildflower viewing. The formation is named based on its silhouette, which looks like a huge industrial building, especially from a distance. Fossils, including ancient plant remains and insights into prehistoric environments, have been found in the outlying Mancos Shale, making it part of regional paleontology research interest. The summit itself is unfortunately mostly inaccessible, with steep sides and friable rock. Climbers report narrow ridges and crumbling ledges, with few making it to the top. Native to Central and South Asia, the Chukar partridge was first brought to the region as a game bird and has established self-sustaining wild populations. Its name comes directly from the repeated chuckling call they make in the wild. It is adapted to arid, rock-strewn terrain, but needs occasional access to springs or seeps, making daily treks up to 3 miles for water. It is a ground dweller, preferring to walk or run rather than fly. If pursued, it will run uphill and sometimes glide back down, using short, direct flights for escape. Grafton is famous as a well-preserved ghost town, frequently cited as one of the most photographed sites of its type. Founded in 1859 by a group of pioneers seeking to start a cotton-growing operation, Grafton was repeatedly hit by catastrophic flooding, crop failures, and local conflicts, eventually forcing residents to move and rebuild farther from the river. Despite resettlement, flooding continued to disrupt life. By the late 1800s, most inhabitants had moved out, and the local church was discontinued in 1921. Grafton was entirely abandoned by 1944. Fantasy Canyon is known for its unusual and delicate rock formations, composed of fine-grained sandstone deposited approximately 50 million years ago when the region was covered by a vast lake system. Many formations have been given names based on their shapes, including the Teapot and Alien Head. These structures are extremely fragile, with some collapsing over time due to natural weathering. They also contain high amounts of iron, which gives them a dark brown or reddish colour. The area has also yielded fossilised fish and plant remains, providing evidence of ancient ecosystems that once thrived in the region. A common reptile in the dry, rocky environments of Fantasy Canyon is the western whiptail. It is known for its speed, slender body, and distinctively long tail, which often exceeds the length of its body. When threatened, they can lose their tail to a predator, which is a last resort defense that is stressful and energetically costly, as the tail regrows slowly. Another animal that can be found in the arid environments near the canyon is the desert hairy scorpion, recognised as the largest scorpion species in North America. It has brownish hairs covering its body, which help detect vibrations in the ground and air to locate prey or avoid predators. Thistle is notorious for being destroyed and abandoned after a massive landslide in 1983, which caused a natural dam and flooded the entire town. Earlier, the first settlers included Mormon families, and the town grew as a railroad supply stop. It remains one of the most costly landslides in US history and resulted in Utah's first presidential disaster declaration. The Bentonite hills are known for their rolling, multicolored terrain, created by layers of clay-rich sediment. The hills display shades of red, purple, blue, grey, and green, formed by minerals reacting with water and oxygen over time. The main component of the hills, bentonite clay, comes from ancient volcanic ash that settled and transformed through chemical processes. The soft clay absorbs water quickly, becoming extremely slippery when wet. This property causes the hills to change in texture and appearance after rainfall, making them difficult to navigate. The ferruginous hawk is known as the largest hawk native to North America, often referred to as the King of the Hawks, due to its size and powerful build. It inhabits open areas such as grasslands, prairies, deserts and shrublands, like those found in the Bentonite Hills. Uniquely, it has feathered legs all the way down to its toes, unlike most hawks. Arches National Park is the world's largest concentration of natural sandstone arches, home to over 2,000 documented formations. These formations are primarily composed of entrada sandstone, shaped by the effects of water, wind and temperature changes. The delicate arch, standing over 52 feet high, is a freestanding arch formed as softer rock eroded away. It has become a symbol of Utah due to its unique and recognizable shape, as well as its cultural and historical significance. Beyond its geological importance, ancient petroglyphs found nearby suggest that indigenous peoples lived in and interacted with the area for thousands of years. Today, the arch is featured prominently on Utah's license plates and state tourism materials, serving as a symbol of exploration and the state's connection to the natural world. Renowned as an important pollinator and a widely recognized butterfly species in North America and beyond, the monarch butterfly can easily be found within the national park. It is iconic for its distinctive orange, black and white wing pattern and its remarkable long-distance migration covering thousands of miles. The iconic migration involves multiple generations, travelling up to 3,000 miles from breeding grounds in northern regions to overwintering sites in warmer climates. They rely on genetic cues and the sun's position to navigate. Interestingly, the migratory generation can live up to 8 times longer than their summer counterparts, allowing them to complete the long journey south for winter hibernation. Additionally, they produce a chemical warning to predators acquired from milkweed toxins, making them poisonous and avoided by many. The double arch consists of 2 massive, interconnected arches, formed by water seeping into the rock that gradually carved out the structure from below. The larger of the 2 spans approximately 144 feet, making it one of the park's largest and widest formations. Interestingly, the arch was featured in the opening scenes of the 1989 film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, serving as the backdrop for a sequence depicting Indiana Jones's youth. The turret arch features a central arch with a smaller circular opening to the side, giving it a distinct castle-like appearance and its name. It is part of the window section, an area filled with several prominent formations clustered together. Geologically speaking, the turret arch is relatively young compared to other formations in the park, as its openings are still being progressively shaped. The peregrine falcon is known as the fastest bird on Earth, capable of diving at speeds exceeding 200 miles per hour during its hunting stoop. It is a powerful falcon found nearly worldwide, including nesting in cliff ledges and caves in places like Arches National Park. The species name peregrinus means to wander in Latin, reflecting its wide-ranging migration habits. This bird is a mid-sized raptor, about the size of a crow, with blue-grey backs, barred white underparts, and a black head with distinctive moustache markings. It hunts medium-sized birds, striking them mid-flight, with outstretched talons or by swooping down from above after a high-altitude dive. Its beak has a tomile tooth, a special notch allowing it to sever the spinal cord of prey quickly. Capitol Reef National Park is characterised by the water pocket fold, historic orchards, and impressive rock formations. The Fremont people lived in the region for over 1,000 years, leaving behind petroglyphs, granaries, and artefacts, providing evidence of farming and seasonal migrations. Later in the late 1800s, settlers established small communities, growing orchards along the Fremont River. Its unique rock layers preserve fossils of ancient marine life, dinosaur tracks, and plant remains from the Triassic and Jurassic periods. The Temple of the Moon and the Temple of the Sun are towering sandstone formations rising from the desert floor. The Temple of the Sun stands over 400 feet tall, while the Temple of the Moon is slightly smaller. Early explorers named these structures for their cathedral-like appearance, and they remain some of the most well-known landmarks in Cathedral Valley. The Blue Gate Shale member was deposited over 90 million years ago when a vast inland sea, known as the Western Interior Seaway, covered the region. This sea stretched from the Arctic Ocean to the Gulf of Mexico, dividing the continent into two landmasses. This marine environment left behind fossils of ammonites, bivalves, and marine reptiles, providing evidence of life during the Cretaceous period. It gets its blue-grey colour from the high concentration of clay minerals and organic matter, which settled at the bottom of the ancient sea in low oxygen conditions. The yellow-bellied marmot, a highly social mammal and a key part of local ecosystems, is often seen sunning itself on rocks and ledges throughout Capitol Reef National Park. It is sometimes called rock chuck or whistle pig, as it is known for its stocky body and golden yellow belly. Their colonies, sometimes called madnesses, structure complex communication networks and burrow systems. Frisco is remembered as a boomtown, fueled by mining, being one of the liveliest mining camps in the West in the 1880s. At its peak, it was a raucous district with ore-rich silver and lead mines, a smelter, charcoal kilns, saloons, and a reputation for violence and wealth. Frisco's Horn silver mine was one of the richest silver mines in the United States. At its peak, it produced over $60 million worth of ore, a staggering sum for the time. Canyonlands National Park is a vast park divided into 4 districts with dramatic canyons, mesas, and rivers. The Colorado and Green Rivers played a major role in shaping the canyons over millions of years. At one point in time, explorers, ranchers, and miners entered the area, drawn by its rugged landscape and mineral resources. Dead Horse Point State Park sits on a 2,000-foot-high mesa, offering wide views of the Colorado River below. According to local accounts, cowboys once used the area to corral wild mustangs, blocking off the narrow neck of the mesa with wooden fencing. In fact, its name comes from a story that some horses were left behind and died of exposure, though there is no confirmed historical record of this event. The area is also designated as an international dark sky park, meaning it has minimal light pollution and is a perfect place to stargaze. The dramatic view from Dead Horse Point was used as the final scene in the 1991 movie Thelma and Louise, where the main characters drive off a cliff. False Kiva is a circular stone structure built into an alcove within Canyonlands. While its exact origins remain unclear, it is believed to have been constructed by indigenous peoples. Unlike some protected archaeological sites, False Kiva has no official status as an ancient ruin, leading to debate about its historical significance. The location has drawn interest due to its placement within the rock alcove, offering a view of the surrounding canyon landscape. The golden eagle is recognized as one of the largest, fastest, and most powerful raptors in North America. In Canyonlands National Park, it is admired for its dramatic aerial hunting, broad wingspan, and ability to spot prey across vast distances. It has existed as a species for hundreds of thousands of years, and its remains have been found in ancient cave deposits. Adults are mostly solitary or seen in pairs, but juveniles may live in small groups and can linger in parents' territory for up to 2 years. In fact, they have one of the biggest ranges of any eagle species, with territories going up to 77 square miles, and nests being built on ledges and cliffs, sometimes reused and expanded over many years. Its rich golden brown nape makes identification easier to distance. Sego was a major coal mining town, active from around 1910 to 1955, peaking in the 1920s and 1930s with busy mines, a diverse community, its railroad spur, and up to 500 residents. However, unlike nearby boom towns that thrived on gold or silver, Sego's fortune was built on coal, specifically anthracite from the Butte Cliffs. Coal was first discovered by rancher Harry Ballard in 1908. Mining started in earnest soon after, and was incorporated into larger companies, with workers and their families arriving from varied backgrounds, such as Italian, Japanese, Greek, African American, and others. The town was named in 1918 for the Sego lily, whose white flowers flourished in Sego Canyon. Glen Canyon National Recreation Area covers more than 1.25 million acres, featuring a landscape shaped by the flow of the Colorado River over millions of years. It was established to protect the region's natural and cultural resources while providing opportunities for outdoor activities such as boating, hiking, and fishing. The region is known for its deep canyons, towering sandstone formations, and extensive waterways, with the dam of the same name as a central feature. Lake Powell spans 186 miles and contains more than 1,900 miles of shoreline when full, which is more than the US West Coast. The lake formed as the canyon filled with water after the completion of Glen Canyon Dam, taking nearly 17 years to reach capacity. It was named after John Wesley Powell, a geologist and explorer who led the first recorded expedition through the Grand Canyon and the Colorado River in 1869. Powell's journey helped map the river system and provided some of the earliest scientific observations of the region. The lake is often visited for its stunning red rock canyon views, with most of the formations primarily made of Navajo sandstone, which was deposited around 190 million years ago during the Jurassic period. Found within the recreation area is the Gila monster, the largest venomous lizard native to North America. Its distinctive traits are a stout body, bead-like orange and black scales, and a slow-moving style. Its venom, delivered by grooved teeth in the lower jaw, is potent but rarely medically significant for humans. The species is considered a living fossil, unchanged for millions of years, with close relatives in Mexico and Guatemala. Seen soaring high on thermals with wings held in a shallow V-shape, is the turkey vulture, serving its crucial role as a scavenger, cleaning the environment by feeding mainly on carrion. Named for its bald red head and dark body, which resembles that of a wild turkey, this trait minimises infection risk while feeding on carcasses. Additionally, its digestive system neutralises harmful bacteria and toxins found in decaying flesh, enabling it to consume rotten meat safely. It has a wide range spanning across the Americas, with the ability to travel dozens of miles per day in search of food, adapting to a variety of habitats, including deserts, forests and marshlands. This bird locates carcasses largely by scent, a rare ability among birds, and uses its sharp eyesight as well. It does not kill for food, but will aggressively compete to gain access to carcasses. Zion National Park features towering sandstone cliffs, deep canyons, and a range of ecosystems. The region has been home to indigenous peoples for at least 8,000 years, including the ancestral Puebloans and southern Paiutes. In fact, the park was originally called Mukuntuweap National Monument in 1909, named after the indigenous southern Paiute word meaning straight canyon. It was later renamed Zion in 1919, a term meaning sanctuary or refuge. Summer temperatures in the canyon can exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit, while in winter, snow often covers the higher elevations. In Zion National Park, coyotes are known as highly adaptable and intelligent predators who help control populations of rodents and rabbits. They are also recognised for their complex vocalizations, often heard as howls, yips and barks, mostly during dawn and dusk. These predators scent-mark territories and display complex social behaviours, including altruism, sometimes helping injured pack members by bringing food. Coyotes adapt their hunting strategies from stalking and pouncing for small prey to cooperative pack hunting for larger animals like deer. They are also opportunistic omnivores, easily adapting to human presence and sometimes scavenging near camps or settlements. Interestingly, they were once called prairie wolves and brush wolves before coyote became standardized. The Narrows is one of the park's most popular slot canyons, formed by the Virgin River. The canyon walls rise as high but narrow, with some sections limited to only 20 feet wide. The hike through the Narrows follows the riverbed, requiring visitors to wade or swim through sections of water, depending on seasonal conditions. Flash floods remain a natural hazard, as heavy rains can quickly fill the canyon with rushing water, and it has no escape routes in many sections. Despite the harsh conditions, hanging gardens grow along the canyon walls. Water seeps through the permeable sandstone, allowing ferns, moss and wildflowers to thrive on the rock face. The red towering cliffs and rock formations found throughout Utah's iconic landscapes are due to iron oxide, while white and yellow layers indicate ancient seabeds. The park's formations are made up of multiple layers of sandstone, each representing different environments from millions of years ago, including ancient dunes, riverbeds, and shallow seas. Active in the dry, rocky habitats, and among one of the first reptiles seen basking in the early spring, is the side-blotched lizard. It is named for the distinctive dark blotch on each side, behind its front limbs, and its remarkable variety of male throat colour, morphs linked to different mating strategies. It is one of the most common lizards found in Zion National Park, feeding mainly on insects, spiders, and small arthropods, as they rarely spend long foraging. Tocqueville Falls is a hidden double waterfall located on the outskirts of the park, accessible via a rugged off-road trail. The falls are formed by Laverkin Creek, which flows over layers of rock and creates cascading pools. The water source remains consistent throughout the year, providing an oasis in an otherwise arid environment. The great blue heron is the largest heron species native to North America, standing nearly 4.5 feet tall with a wingspan up to 6.6 feet. Due to its large wingspan, it has a noticeably slow wing beat and often stands motionless to hunt, scanning waters for prey. Additionally, it weighs only about 5 to 6 pounds despite its size, due to hollow bones common to birds, aiding flight. It is commonly found near water bodies, including wetlands, lakes and rivers, where it hunts patiently for fish, amphibians and small mammals, with slow, deliberate movements. The bird defends its feeding territories vigorously, sometimes driving off other herons, gulls, or even humans intruding on its food source. Nest colonies may reach up to 500 nests, making them some of the largest bird gatherings visible near water. Modena falls into the category of a semi-ghost or near-ghost town. Originally established as a railroad town in 1899, it served as a water stop for steam locomotives thanks to nearby natural springs. Today, only a few families remain, with a few historic buildings like an old schoolhouse and a rusty gas station still standing. Dinosaur National Monument is known for its massive fossil deposits, where thousands of dinosaur bones remain embedded in rock. The discovery of the quarry in 1909 by paleontologist Earl Douglas led to extensive excavations, with numerous fossils shipped to institutions worldwide. The fossils date back 150 million years to the Jurassic period, when the region was part of a river system that supported large plant-eating and carnivorous dinosaurs. Today, many of these fossils are housed in museums, while others remain exposed in the rock face for study. The Rocky Mountain elk is a large and powerful member of the deer family, known for its impressive antlers and loud bugling calls, especially during the mating season. Their antlers grow annually and are shed every winter, regrown in a process supported by a thick velvet covering rich in blood vessels during growth. These large animals also migrate seasonally, spending summers in subalpine forests and alpine basins, then moving down to lower elevations in winter for better forage and less snow. Evidently, their diet consists largely of grasses and shrubs, with up to 84% of winter diets being grasses. They are ruminants with complex four-chambered stomachs suited for digesting tough plant materials. They thrive in mountainous regions, including the varied terrain of Dinosaur National Monument. Famous as the symbol of the United States, the bald eagle is the largest bird of prey in North America. Due to its size, it also builds the largest bird nests called eyries, which can be up to 13 feet deep and weigh over a ton. Nests are built and reused over many years, sometimes expanded to enormous sizes that break records for animal-built structures. Eagles are especially territorial, during breeding season, defending nesting areas vigorously. The species faced drastic declines in the mid-20th century due to DDT pesticide use, causing thin eggshells, and hunting, but has since made a significant comeback following conservation efforts. Goblin Valley State Park is known for its unusual rock formations that resemble small, squat figures, often compared to goblins. In the early 20th century, cowboys exploring the region reported the strange formations, but the area remained largely unknown until a few decades later, when it was officially documented. The valley became a protected park in 1964, preserving its unique geological landscape. In 1999, scenes from Galaxy Quest were filmed in the park, using the terrain to depict an alien world. The rock formations in Goblin Valley are classified as hoodoos, which are tall, thin spires of rock with a larger capstone on top. The formations range in height from a few inches to over 20 feet and are scattered throughout the valley. Hoodoos form when harder rock sits above softer sandstone, allowing the pillars to maintain their shape for thousands of years. Without the capstones, the softer rock would erode much faster, eventually reducing the hoodoos to small mounds. Named for the distinctive black stripe running from the top of the tail down to the rump, the black-tailed jackrabbit is a common sight bounding across the desert landscape of Goblin Valley State Park. Uniquely, they engage in coprophagy, which is the act of eating their own feces to extract maximum nutrients from their high-fibre, low-nutrient diet. The Santa Clara volcano is an extinct volcanic cinder cone located near St. George. It last erupted approximately 20,000 to 30,000 years ago, leaving behind lava flows that are still visible in the area. The dark basaltic rock stretches across the landscape, showing clear evidence of the volcanic activity that once shaped the region. Cinder cones like Santa Clara form when gas-rich magma erupts, throwing fragments into the air that solidify and accumulate around the vent, which then builds the cone-shaped structure over time. Known for being able to store water in their bladders and tolerate high blood urea levels to conserve moisture, the desert tortoise evidently has the impressive ability to survive extreme desert climates. It also lives mostly underground in burrows or rock shelters to avoid heat and conserve moisture. This tortoise has a lifespan that can reach 50 to 80 years, growing slowly and reaching sexual maturity between 13 and 20 years. The historical mining town of Silver Reef is famous for silver deposits found in sandstone, an unusual geological discovery since silver is typically found in harder rock. It was also one of the few silver camps to develop a Chinatown in the West, with Chinese workers vital to the mines and town economy. By the late 1880s, the silver veins ran dry, but some believed the mines were abandoned too soon, and silver still lies hidden in the sandstone. Great Salt Lake is the largest saltwater lake in the Western Hemisphere, covering an average area of over 1 million acres, though its size fluctuates due to evaporation and rainfall. The lake has no outlet, meaning water only leaves through evaporation, leaving behind high concentrations of salt. Some areas of the lake can reach salinity levels up to 27%, far saltier than the ocean. American avocets are the only avocet species worldwide that change plumage colour seasonally, from rusty orange heads during breeding to greyish-white in winter. They feed by wading in shallow water, sweeping their open bills side to side to disturb and catch aquatic insects, crustaceans, and small animal life. Additionally, their bill's unique shape functions like a rake in shallow water, highly efficient at retrieving tiny prey. They also mainly use their long legs and webbed feet for proficient swimming, which is unusual for many shorebirds. The population tends to be stable and widespread, yet dependent on the health of wetland ecosystems threatened by water diversion and pollution. Large flocks at Great Salt Lake create a spectacle during migration, with thousands feeding in shallow waters. Another interesting shorebird sighted at the lake is the Wilson's phalarope, a small bird recognised for its unique spinning feeding behaviour on saline lakes. They forage by spinning in circles on the water's surface, using their feet to create whirlpools that bring small creatures closer for capture by their bills. They are rarely seen outside the Americas, but occasional vagrants have been recorded as far as Europe. The eared grebe, also known as the black-necked grebe, is one of the most abundant grebe species worldwide. It is famous for its distinctive golden plume of feathers fanning out behind its eyes in breeding season, and its striking red eyes. They breed in colonies on shallow wetlands and are known for gathering in huge flocks, numbering in the thousands at saline lakes during migration and winter. These birds are also unique for their ability to shed up to 50% of their body weight during molting when their flight feathers fall out, and they become temporarily flightless. They are opportunistic carnivores, feeding mainly on aquatic invertebrates, small fish, tadpoles, and particularly brine shrimp during molting and staging periods. Their feeding style involves diving underwater and can last up to 30 seconds to catch prey, sometimes catching prey on the water surface or in the air. A section of the Great Salt Lake is known for its pink-coloured water, caused by high salinity and the presence of halophilic, salt-loving microorganisms. These microorganisms are Dunaliella salina, a type of algae, and halobacteria, both of which thrive in extreme salt concentrations and create the same compounds found in carrots and flamingo feathers. The lake is naturally divided by a causeway, which restricts water flow between the north and south sections. It can reach salinity levels above 30%, making it saltier than the ocean. In fact, the extreme salt content also creates thick salt deposits along the shoreline, forming white encrustations that contrast sharply with the pink water. These salt formations have been harvested for commercial use, including road salt and mineral extraction. The Wasatch Mountains stretch for over 160 miles, forming the western edge of the Rocky Mountain region. The range includes dozens of peaks over 11,000 feet, shaped by tectonic uplift and glacial activity over millions of years. The mountains act as a climatic barrier, causing increased precipitation on the western slopes while leaving valleys to the east much drier. They also contain some of the highest snowfall totals in the region, with over 40 feet of snow annually in some areas. This has made the Wasatch Mountains a major centre for skiing and winter sports, with several resorts developed along the range. The combination of steep terrain and dry, powdery snow has led to the claim of having the greatest snow on Earth. Acting as an indicator species that reflects the health of grasslands, the mountain bluebird is often seen flying around the Wasatch Mountains area. Partly due to this role, it tends to prefer open country, nesting in cavities from woodpecker holes to man-made nest boxes. It stands out because of its sky blue plumage and habit of hovering while foraging, which is uncommon among other thrushes. Another wildlife that can be seen frequently in the mountains is the moose, the largest member of the deer family. Males are easily identified by their broad, flat antlers, which can span up to 6 feet and weigh nearly 90 pounds. They shed and regrow antlers annually. Antler growth rate can exceed 1 inch per day in summer, making moose a record holder for bone growth rates among mammals. Recognised for their solitary lifestyle and impressive ability to thrive in mountainous, forested environments, moose are generally seen alone or in small cow-calf groups, making them distinct from other deer in the region. In winter, moose have been known to take over farm pastures, occasionally clashing with livestock or searching for food during tough conditions. Known for its coat of sharp quills used for defense against predators, the North American porcupine is the third largest rodent in the region. It is common in coniferous and mixed forests, but also seen in wetlands, deserts and shrubland. Mount Timpanogos is the second highest peak in the Wasatch Range, standing at 11,753 feet. Local legends tell of a ghostly figure appearing on the mountain, inspired by indigenous stories of a woman who waited for her lost warrior. Due to this, the mountain's silhouette is sometimes said to resemble a sleeping figure. Hikers attempt the 9-mile ascent to the summit, which offers views of the surrounding valleys and peaks. Well regarded as excellent climbers and swimmers, the black bear can be seen around the mountains, mostly at night, dawn, or dusk. An omnivore, this bear uses trees primarily for safety, food, and denning. It is the most common bear species in the region and the smallest of the native bears. They enter a state of dormancy during winter, though it is not true hibernation, as they can wake easily. Mating season is in late spring to early summer, with delayed implantation allowing females to give birth in winter dens to 1 to 3 cubs. It uses a mock charge to intimidate threats, displaying behaviours like blowing, swatting the ground, and jaw snapping without actual attack. The Homestead crater is a geothermal hot spring formed inside a limestone dome filled with mineral-rich water from deep underground, deposited over layers of rock. The hot spring inside the crater maintains a temperature of 90 to 96 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, making it one of the only warm water diving sites in the region. The water reaches a depth of 65 feet, with clear visibility, allowing for scuba diving and snorkeling. The ghost town of Home of Truth was a short-lived utopian religious community in Utah's San Juan County, established in 1933 by spiritualist Marie Ogden. Its residents lived a strict lifestyle without alcohol, tobacco, or meat, isolated socially and physically from the surrounding areas. The community collapsed in 1937 after intense media scrutiny when Ogden claimed to raise a woman from the dead, forcing most residents to leave. Nine Mile Canyon stretches for 40 miles, despite its name suggesting otherwise, and is known for its extensive collection of rock art. Often referred to as an outdoor museum, the canyon holds one of the highest concentrations of rock art in the region, with thousands of petroglyphs and pictographs covering the canyon walls. The canyon has been a travel route for thousands of years. Indigenous peoples used it for seasonal migrations, while explorers, fur trappers, and later settlers followed the same path. In the late 19th century, it became an important supply route for ranches and early coal mining operations. Often called the sparrow hawk due to its small size and prey preferences, the American kestrel defends its territories year-round in most areas. This bird tends to nest in cavities such as rock crevices, old woodpecker holes, or nest boxes, and though they do not build nests themselves, they defend these sites vigorously. It is known for a unique hovering flight behaviour, where it faces into the wind and remains almost stationary in the air while scanning for prey below. Then it bobs its head and pumps its tail before striking, a behaviour noted by birders and researchers alike. It also uses two vertical black facial markings on each side of the head, one below the eyes and another behind, possibly as false eyes to confuse predators or rivals. The mountain lion is a stealthy predator with excellent night vision, primarily hunting deer, bighorn sheep, and sometimes smaller mammals like porcupines. It has many other different names depending on which region they are seen in, such as cougar, puma, and catamount. As natural predators, it can leap up to 45 feet in a single bound and climb trees skillfully, and also run up to 50 miles per hour for short distances. It also uses a powerful bite to the neck or throat to kill, then drags kills to sheltered spots and covers them with debris for later feeding. Interestingly, its tracks show no claw marks because its claws are retractable, unlike other big cats. Despite their size and ability, attacks on humans are very rare. Coral pink sand dunes. State Park features shifting sand dunes that serve as the perfect landscape for off-roading and photography. The unique colour of the sand comes from iron oxide, which gives it a distinct pinkish-orange hue, and the dunes are estimated to be between 10,000 and 15,000 years old. The dunes are constantly shifting, with some areas moving up to 50 feet per year, causing older dunes to be partially buried while new formations emerge. The horned lark is known for being the only member of the lark family native to the New World. It is recognised for its distinctive small black feather tufts, or horns on the head, visible especially in males, and its black and yellow facial pattern. It thrives in open habitats with sparse vegetation, such as the dunes in the state park. This is due to it being a ground nester, as the female builds a shallow nest in a natural depression or digs a cavity in the sand or soil, lining it with grasses, feathers and soft material. Provo Peak rises to an elevation of 11,068 feet, making it one of the highest summits in the Wasatch Range. The peak is steep and rugged, with no developed trails leading directly to the summit. The hike requires navigating loose rock and steep inclines, making it a challenge for climbers. Snow covers the peak for much of the year, feeding into streams and tributaries that flow into the valley below. Following the Provo River as it cuts through the Wasatch Mountains, is the Provo Canyon, formed by glacial movement and river erosion, creating vertical rock walls and winding river channels. It has historically served as an important travel route for indigenous clans, fur trappers, pioneers, and modern travelers. However, due to its steep cliffs and loose rock, Provo Canyon experiences occasional rock slides and avalanches, especially during the spring thaw. Certain sections of US Highway 189, which runs through the canyon, have been reinforced to prevent damage from falling debris. Bridal Veil Falls is a two-tiered waterfall located within Provo Canyon. The falls are fed by mountain springs and snowmelt, creating a steady flow throughout most of the year. During winter, the falls freeze into large ice formations, attracting climbers who scale the frozen surface. In the mid-20th century, a tram system was built alongside the falls, carrying visitors to a restaurant and lodge at the top, though it was later destroyed in an avalanche. Known as the only truly aquatic songbird in the country, the American dipper is often seen bobbing or dipping its body up and down while perched on rocks near water. It is famous for its unique ability to walk, swim and dive underwater in fast-moving mountain streams to find aquatic insects and larvae. This is because it is equipped with a transparent third eyelid for underwater vision and nostrils that can close to keep water out, plus a thick coat of oil to keep feathers waterproof. The bird was once even commonly called the water ouzel, a name reflecting its similarity to a European bird known as the ouzel or dipper, which also lives in water environments. It lives mainly in clean, fast-moving streams and rivers in mountainous areas like Provo Peak. Both males and females sing year-round, especially near the water, using high-pitched whistles and trills to communicate and defend territory. Cisco is a ghost town in eastern Utah, located near the junction of State Route 128 and Interstate 70. Originally, the town was established as a water refilling station and saloon stop in the 1880s for steam locomotives on the Denver and Rio Grande Western Railroad. It later grew due to the discovery of oil and natural gas, becoming one of the largest producers in the region during the early 20th century. The town also became a popular stop for travellers after World War II, with gas stations, restaurants and hotels catering to motorists on the main highway through the area. Today, it is more frequently used as a filming location for movies, including Vanishing Point and Thelma and Louise, even inspiring a Johnny Cash song. The San Rafael Swell is a rugged geological feature formed by an anticline uplift where underground forces pushed rock layers upward, creating a massive dome-like structure. It contains numerous slot canyons, formed by flash floods over thousands of years. These narrow canyons, often just a few inches wide, but dropping tens of feet deep, create twisting passageways through the rock. Because of their constantly changing formations, the slot canyons serve as natural geological laboratories, allowing scientists to study erosion and sediment transport in real time as they continue to evolve. The area remains one of the least developed regions in the area, with few paved roads and limited infrastructure. The Jerusalem cricket is a large, flightless insect with a distinctive, rounded head and powerful mandibles. Despite the name, they are not true crickets and are not related to those native to Jerusalem. They are primarily nocturnal and spend much of their time underground, burrowing in moist soil, The American badger is a fossorial mammal known for its powerful digging abilities, using strong forelimbs and long claws to tunnel underground. Its eye has a nictitating membrane that protects it from dust and debris while digging. When threatened, badgers are fierce and have been known to attack using bites and loud hisses or growls as a warning. The grey fox is recognised for its coarse, salt and pepper grey fur mixed with rusty colours and a distinct black stripe running along its tail, ending in a black tip. It is one of the only canids capable of climbing trees, thanks to sharp, semi-retractable claws and rotating wrist joints, which aid in gripping tree trunks. Unlike many canids, the grey fox is an omnivore with a flexible diet, including small mammals, birds, insects, fruits and vegetation. Antelope Island is the largest island in the Great Salt Lake, known for its wildlife and hiking activities. In 1845, John C. Fremont and Kit Carson explored the island and named it after observing pronghorn antelope. The island later became a ranching site, with cattle grazing there for over a century, until officially becoming a protected area today. The bison on Antelope Island is part of a large, semi-free-ranging herd of American bison freely roaming the island's grasslands. This herd is one of the largest and oldest publicly owned bison herds in the nation, fluctuating between 550 and 700 animals throughout the year. Herds are generally divided by sex outside of the breeding season. Females and calves form one group, males another, coming together only during mating. Interestingly, it is colloquially known as buffalo, although bison species are only distantly related to true buffalo species from Asia and Africa. They exhibit behaviours like rolling in dirt, dust baths, and rubbing horns on trees, which may help with parasite control and skin maintenance. Antelope Island provides prime prairie habitat, ideal for the bison's grazing lifestyle, with no significant natural predators. Another main attraction on Antelope Island is the burrowing owl, with over 50 nest sites, thriving in the island's open grasslands. They are unique among owls for living primarily underground in burrows, often using tunnels dug by other animals like badgers and prairie dogs. These birds also stand out for their energetic behaviour and characteristic head bobbing, which signals curiosity or a defensive stance. They usually store extra food in their burrows for lean periods, which is an act called caching. They also have a distinctive ability to mimic rattlesnake sounds to scare off predators, a dramatic defensive mechanism. Lyman Lake sits at an elevation of over 10,000 feet, making it one of the highest natural lakes in the region. Situated in the Boulder Mountain area, it was formed by glacial activity during the last ice age, with retreating ice carving out the basin that now holds the lake. The lake remains partially frozen for much of the year due to its high altitude. It was named after Elias Lyman, an early explorer and surveyor in the area. Lyman Lake's rainbow trout catches people's attention easily with its bright colouring, especially the iridescent pink or red stripe along its sides that gives the fish its name. They also have 7 fins, including an adipose fin, which is typical for salmonids. Due to these physical traits, it is a popular game fish prized by anglers for its fight and size. They typically spawn in gravel streambeds or lake shores, as females dig nests called redds and lay 200 to several thousand eggs, depending on size. Notably, they are natural predators, feeding on aquatic insects, smaller fish, and crustaceans. Outside of the waters and in the trees surrounding the lake instead is the grey jay, also known as the Canada jay or whiskey jack. Its nickname Whiskey Jack originates from Algonquin folklore and is a corruption of Whiskered Jack, a trickster spirit associated with the bird in indigenous cultures. It is famous for its intelligence and sociability, being able to remember thousands of cache locations with remarkable precision, a critical survival adaptation in winter when food is scarce. They forage mostly on the ground, walking briskly while scanning, but also fly to catch insects or raid nests for eggs and nestlings. Old Irontown is known as one of the earliest iron mining and production sites in southern Utah, established in 1868 to support pioneer settlers with locally produced iron. It was the second major attempt after Cedar City to extract and process iron from nearby Iron Mountain, supplying settlers and mining operations regionally. The site features ruins including a preserved beehive-shaped charcoal kiln, a foundry area with a chimney, and other remnants of 19th century iron processing. Utah Lake is the largest freshwater lake in the region, covering a maximum width of 13 miles and an average depth of 10.5 feet. The lake is a remnant of ancient Lake Bonneville, which once covered much of the area during the Ice Age. Over time, water levels receded, leaving behind Utah Lake and the Great Salt Lake. The lake is fed by multiple rivers and streams, with the Provo River being the largest inflow. Indigenous groups relied on it as a food source, catching fish and using the surrounding wetlands for hunting, while early settlers later used the lake for irrigation, transportation, and recreation. A common breeding bird in Utah is the Canadian goose, often a year-round resident at Utah Lake and other local water bodies. It is most iconic for flying in characteristic V-shaped formations during migration and large flocks at rest. Its features include its large size, black head and neck, with white cheek patches and brownish body. These birds are highly adaptable, commonly found in urban parks, agricultural fields, wetlands and lakes, where they forage for grains and grasses. Goslings are funnily known to imprint on their parents or other moving entities quickly, leading to curious behaviours such as following humans or pets mistaken for their parents. The American mink is a semi-aquatic mammal belonging to the weasel family, retaining its agility both on land and in water. It has a sleek, long body, glossy dark brown or black fur with a distinctive white patch under the chin. The name mink likely comes from a Scandinavian word referring to a stinking animal, referencing the musky scent they release for defense. They are excellent swimmers, able to dive up to 100 feet and stay underwater for several minutes when hunting. These animals communicate through scent marking with secretions from anal glands, along with auditory and visual cues. Located along the northwest shore of Utah Lake is Saratoga Spring, a natural geothermal spring. The warm water continues to flow year-round, maintaining a steady temperature, even in winter, as modern development surrounds the site today. Commonly found near water bodies such as Utah Lake, the raccoon is a highly intelligent and dexterous animal, able to open containers and manipulate objects easily. Primarily nocturnal, raccoons have excellent night vision and sensitive tactile paws that aid in foraging and navigating environments. They are omnivores, eating a varied diet including insects, fish, fruits, nuts, small mammals, birds, eggs and human leftovers. Raccoons do not hibernate but enter a state of torpor in cold winters, during which they may sleep for extended periods but wake to forage. They den in tree hollows, burrows, rock crevices, or human structures such as attics, chimneys, or underdecks. Interestingly, its mask acts like an anti-glare device, helping protect sensitive eyes from sun and night glare. Gunlock State Park is centered around Gunlock Reservoir, created by the construction of the dam with the same name in 1970. The reservoir serves as a water storage facility for irrigation and local use, such as boating, fishing, and even swimming. It was named after William Haynes Gunlock, a 19th century pioneer who settled in the area. Gunlock Falls appears only in years when heavy rainfall and snowmelt cause the reservoir to overflow, sending water cascading over the red sandstone ledges below the dam. The falls can last for several weeks, depending on water levels, before drying up when runoff decreases. The waterfalls form tiered cascades, with water spilling over layers of rock, creating natural pools. The force of the water continues to reshape the sandstone, smoothing the rock and deepening pools over time. Inhabiting the desert and arid regions like Gunlock State Park, the Gambel's quail is a small ground-dwelling bird with a distinctive top knot, or plume, that curves forward on top of its head. It is named after William Gamble, a 19th century naturalist who explored parts of the southwestern US. Another notable bird within the park is the Costa's hummingbird, usually found near Gunlock Falls, where it thrives on desert flowering plants and shrubs. It is noted for its small size, bright iridescent purple feathers on the male's head and throat, and acrobatic flight. This bird is especially famous for the male's elaborate courtship displays, including high-speed dives and loops accented by a high-pitched whistle produced by tail feathers. Bryce Canyon National Park covers 56 square miles and is known for its unique rock formations, high elevation plateaus, and red rock spires. Despite its name, Bryce Canyon is not a canyon, but a series of natural amphitheatres formed along the eastern edge of the Paunsaugunt Plateau. Designated as a national park in 1928, the park's elevation ranges from 6,600 to 9,100 feet, making it one of the highest national parks in the region. The area experiences over 200 freeze-thaw cycles per year, which cause water to seep into cracks, freeze and expand, gradually breaking apart the rock and shaping the landscape. Early indigenous groups, including the Paiute people, lived in the area and passed down oral histories describing the strange rock formations as legend people turned to stone by the trickster god Coyote. European settlers arrived in the mid-19th century, and the park was named after Ebenezer Bryce, a homesteader who built a road into the canyon for logging. The park is notably home to thousands of hoodoos, with specific areas named according to their physical traits, such as the Cathedral, which is a cluster of towering hoodoos that resemble the spires of a Gothic church. Then there is the iconic Bryce Amphitheatre, the largest and most well-known amphitheatre in the park, stretching 12 miles wide and 800 feet deep. It contains the highest concentration of hoodoos in Bryce Canyon and changes colour throughout the day with orange, red and white hues. Another one of the most recognisable hoodoos in the park is Thor's Hammer, which consists of a large, blocky caprock balanced on a thin rock pedestal. The capstone is made of a harder rock layer, while the lower portion erodes faster, creating a distinctive hammer shape. Usually spotted throughout Bryce Canyon National Park, the mule deer often forage along roadsides early in the morning or late in the afternoon. It is perceived for its large, mule-like ears, which are roughly 3/4 the length of its head, giving the species its name. They are observed for a unique bounding escape called stotting, or pronking, where they jump vertically and land stiff-legged on all four hooves to evade predators. In fact, they can jump 2 feet high and leap distances of up to 15 feet, allowing swift navigation through rugged terrain. Their sense of smell is highly developed, in fact thousands of times more sensitive than humans, and they can detect water buried up to 2 feet underground. Despite their gentle appearance, mule deer can be dangerous when defending their young, especially during the rut season, when males can cause injury to rivals, and sometimes even humans. The second largest rodent in the world, the North American beaver, is another astounding animal that can be found in the national park. It is special for its remarkable ability to modify environments by building dams and lodges, using branches, mud and rocks, creating wetland habitats that benefit many other species. Due to this, the beaver has been a symbol of hard work and industriousness, reflected in many family crests and place names. They are known to use their flat tails not only for swimming, but also to slap against water surfaces as an alarm signal to warn others of danger. Historically, beavers were prized for their fur and castoreum, a secretion used in perfumery and as a flavouring agent. Silver City was a prominent silver mining town located at the mouth of Dragon Canyon on the west flank of the East Tintic Mountains. It was the first mining community in the Tintic Mining District, one of the most valuable mining districts in Utah during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The town supported a thriving mining economy with rich deposits of silver, gold, copper, lead, and bismuth. Flaming Gorge National Recreation Area is named after the red and orange cliffs that reflect the light at sunrise and sunset. The region was carved by the Green River, which continues to shape the landscape through erosion. The gorge is part of the Uinta Mountains, an ancient mountain range composed of Precambrian rock over 1 billion years old that preserves fossils from prehistoric marine environments. Found within the recreation area is the common goldeneye, a medium-sized diving duck known for its large, rounded head that appears disproportionately big compared to its neck and body. Males display dark green-black iridescent heads with a distinctive white oval patch near the base of the bill, while females have a chocolate brown head with a grey body and pale yellow eyes. It is famous for vocal and visual courtship displays, including a dramatic head-throwing routine combined with wing and leg stretching. Additionally, it produces a rapid wing beat, creating a distinctive whistling sound, often called wing music. These ducks form pair bonds in wintering areas and migrate seasonally between northern boreal breeding grounds and southern wintering lakes and coasts. The osprey is a fish-eating bird of prey commonly seen around Utah's rivers and reservoirs, including Flaming Gorge. Also known as a fishhawk or seahawk, it is highly skilled at catching fish, capable of diving feet first into water to snatch prey. In fact, its name comes from the Old French word osprite, derived from medieval Latin avis pridae, meaning bird of prey. The term was historically used broadly, but became associated specifically with this species. Their sharp, high-pitched calls include whistles and shrieks, often heard near nesting and hunting areas. Notably, the Flaming Gorge has the largest breeding osprey colony in Utah and one of the largest inland populations in the western US. Kodachrome Basin State Park contains over 60 sedimentary rock columns, known as sandpipes, ranging from 6 to 170 feet tall. These formations are believed to be the result of ancient geysers that were filled with sediment and hardened over time. The park was named in 1948 after the Kodachrome film brand, used by a National Geographic expedition team to capture the park's landscape. The name was chosen due to the intense red, orange, and white hues of the sandstone formations, which change in appearance depending on the angle of the sunlight. The park contains evidence of prehistoric life, with fossilized dinosaur tracks, plant imprints, and marine fossils found within its rock layers. Outdoor activities in the park include hiking, horseback riding, and photography, with trails leading through narrow canyons, open deserts, and rock amphitheatres. The American pika is a small, herbivorous mammal closely related to rabbits and hares, known for its rounded body, short legs, and lack of a visible tail. It typically inhabits rocky talus slopes near alpine meadows, often found at or above the tree line in mountainous regions like Kodachrome Basin State Park. Located on the Utah-Arizona border, Monument Valley Navajo Tribal Park is a stunning area composed of iconic red rock formations, such as the Mexican Hat Rock, named for its resemblance to an upside-down sombrero. The area has been home to the Navajo Nation for centuries, with evidence of earlier ancestral Puebloan settlements from over 1,000 years. However, in the 1860s, conflict arose between the Navajo and the US government, leading to the Long Walk of 1864, when thousands of Navajo were forcibly removed from their land and marched over 300 miles to a reservation in New Mexico. They were eventually allowed to return, and the land that includes Monument Valley became part of the Navajo Nation, which remains the largest indigenous territory in the US. The Navajo people continue to live in the region, maintaining cultural traditions, language, and historical sites. The valley also became widely recognized through Hollywood films, television shows, and advertisements such as Forrest Gump and 2001: A Space Odyssey. Grand Staircase-Escalante National Monument is a rugged wilderness area with slot canyons, cliffs, and ancient fossils. It is known for its extensive fossil beds, which have produced fossils of dinosaurs, prehistoric fish, and ancient plant species. The monument's grand staircase consists of 5 massive rock layers, each representing different geological time periods, ranging from the Triassic to the Cretaceous period. Its surrounding area has some of the least light pollution in North America, making it one of the best places for stargazing and astronomical research. The pronghorn antelope is the fastest land mammal in the Western Hemisphere, capable of speeds up to 55 miles per hour for short bursts and sustaining 35 miles per hour for miles. It is sometimes called the American antelope, or prongbuck, due to its resemblance to Old World antelopes and its similar ecological niche. It is notable for its distinctive horns that have a forward-pointing prong or tine, different from the horns of other ungulates, with males having longer horns and small horns, or bumps on females. Pronghorns have large eyes positioned on the sides of their heads, giving them a nearly 360-degree field of vision to spot predators early on open landscapes like Grand Staircase-Escalante. Their large windpipe, lungs, heart, and blood volume support their intense aerobic activity during sprinting and endurance running. In fact, it can sustain high-speed running longer than cheetahs, which excel only in short bursts. Peekaboo Slot Canyon is a narrow, winding canyon with sandstone walls as small as 16 inches wide. The canyon floor contains carved-out potholes, created by flash floods that continue to shape the canyon over time. During flash floods, water rushes through the slot canyon, eroding rock and deepening the narrow channels. Devil's Garden is an area filled with hoodoos, arches and rock formations made of Entrada sandstone. It remains relatively stable compared to other eroded landscapes, as the harder capstone layers protect the softer sandstone beneath. The Cosmic Ashtray, also known as the Red Break Sinkhole, is a large circular depression surrounded by a raised sandstone rim. The remote crater measures around 100 yards in diameter and contains a central sand dune, which shifts with the wind. The sand within the depression constantly shifts, creating changing patterns on the surface, depending on wind direction and speed. The barn owl has a reputation for its silent flight and efficiency as a nocturnal hunter, relying on acute hearing to catch small mammals, especially mice and voles, often in complete darkness. It is a medium-sized owl with a distinctive white heart-shaped facial disc and dark eyes. It has no ear tufts and long, unfeathered legs, with sandy brown and pale underparts streaked with white and grey. Their facial disc of stiff feathers acts as a sound collector, amplifying low-frequency sounds to help pinpoint prey in darkness. Barn owls often roost and nest in man-made structures, adapting readily to rural and semi-urban environments. The species plays a crucial role in controlling rodent populations in Utah, making it valuable for agricultural areas adjacent to natural landscapes. Previously known by names such as church owl, death owl, ghost owl, and hissing owl, it reflects the varying cultural beliefs and the bird's ghostly appearance and eerie calls. The Great Basin Desert spans over 190,000 square miles, making it the largest cold desert in North America. Unlike hot deserts, which experience extreme heat year-round, the Great Basin Desert has hot summers and cold winters, with temperatures dropping below freezing in winter and exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit in summer. It is classified as a cold desert because most of its moisture comes from snowmelt rather than summer rainfall. The desert is part of the Basin and Range Province, a geological region characterized by alternating mountain ranges and valleys created by tectonic stretching. The Great Basin collared lizard is one of the most recognizable reptiles in the desert, named for the two black bands around its neck that resemble a collar. Unlike many lizards that rely on short bursts of movement, the collared lizard is known for its bipedal running, meaning it can lift its front legs and sprint on its hind legs when escaping predators. In fact, it is one of the fastest lizards in the region, reaching speeds of over 35 miles per hour. During cold months, the collared lizard enters a state of brumation, a form of hibernation, where it remains inactive in underground burrows to survive freezing temperatures. The sage grouse is the largest grouse species in North America, often called cock of the plains, for its striking courtship display and dominant presence in sagebrush ecosystems. The bird relies almost exclusively on sagebrush habitats, making it a sagebrush obligate species. A medium-sized raptor native to the western open country and the Great Basin Desert, the prairie falcon is a powerful hunter known for agility and high-speed dives. It preys mainly on ground squirrels during breeding season, but also take other small mammals, birds such as meadowlarks and horned larks, and occasionally reptiles. The raptor is observed to prefer doing low, fast hunting flights and surprise attacks, as well as perch hunting from fences or tall posts. The town of Lund first became an important rail junction in 1923 when a branch line was built from Lund to Cedar City by the Union Pacific Railroad. The branch line was constructed to encourage tourism, providing visitors access to southern Utah's major attractions like Bryce Canyon and Zion National Parks. Today, Lund is a quiet area with a few residents, not fully abandoned but no longer serving a popular function either. The Bonneville Salt Flats are a vast expanse of densely packed salt crust stretching approximately 64,000 acres. The environment results from Lake Bonneville, a prehistoric body of water that once covered much of the region but gradually evaporated as the climate changed. This unique natural formation is famous for its use as a world-famous speedway, since the flat, hard surface and the lack of obstructions make it an ideal setting. Since the early 20th century, it has been a prime location for land speed record attempts, with the first official record being set in 1914 when Teddy Tetzlaff reached 142.85 miles per hour. Over the years, many racers have returned to push the limits, with some exceeding 745 miles per hour in specially designed vehicles. Beyond racing, the area has been used for scientific research, military testing, and film productions such as Independence Day and Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Adapted to live primarily on flat open areas with sparse vegetation, the snowy plover prefers discreet nests, usually small scrapes in the ground that are barely visible to predators and humans alike. It is a small shorebird known for its pale grey and white colouring, which provides excellent camouflage against the bright sandy environments of salt flats like Bonneville Salt Flats. Their diet mainly consists of small invertebrates, including beetles, flies, brine shrimp, and other insects common to salt flats. Chicks are about the size of a person's thumb when they hatch, capable of walking and foraging almost immediately. The adults usually perform distraction displays such as broken wing acts to divert predators away from their nests or young. They often stand on one leg while sleeping, a behaviour especially noted during colder months for conserving heat. These are the wildlife and ghost towns of Utah, a land of hidden wonders and remarkable architectural marvels. Now, if you don't want to miss the most unreal wonders of Svaneti, check out this video.